Hello and welcome back to another Top Table Duels. So today we're going to be looking at a best of 3 ranked match between a branded Despia and Tearlament's build against Sky Strikers. So over in the blue, playing on the branded Tearlament deck is going to be SlimJae in the blue, going first at 1272, and then in the red playing Sky Strikers is going to be IG nerd.gaming.inc. So let's go ahead and kick this off real fast. So obviously going to start with Perlino. Searching his deck, probably going to get Rhino Heart. Yep. Easiest first one. So he's going to pop off with Sheeran first. Probably going to send the Despia, yeah, because he's going to need to get into his Despia engine. Or sorry, get into his branded engine. There we go. Yeah, he didn't want to. So it's interesting. He did summon the Rhino Heart, but he wanted to go into a Luber first to go in to get the branded fusion, but he also searched the he searched the Rhino Heart instead of normal summoning. He had normal summoning the Luber, already had that play line in hand or in mind. It is interesting, maybe particularly for follow-up plays. So obviously the Luber is going to be met with an effect Veiler, very good. Turn that branded turn the branded fusion engine off right off the bat. Pistol Saranir starting a new chain. Going to go in, probably going to try to get into his branded engine. I don't know if SlimJae is playing, if he's specifically going to be playing out the branded engine, playing like branded beast. Alright, so he goes into Sprind instead. Saranir likely to dump our Lebellion. Or actually he might be going into a branded fusion. There we go, so he can set it again. Alright. There's the Merly. And the Merly gets immediately hit by Ghost Bell. That is a very good way to kind of hold that down. Alright. So, IG Nerd Gaming sees the writing on the wall. Can't pull it home. So he's playing, if I'm right, yeah, so he's playing a go second build. So he basically just said, hey, I had no way into, he didn't have a way into engine, so he just had to scoop it up. So his opponent, obviously we see this a lot in the Go Second build of Sky Striker. So his opponent didn't know he was playing Sky Striker, which IG Nerd did a really good job concealing that information, making sure he didn't know what he was about to play into. So obviously SlimJae, thinking that he's going to be going first, sides into a lot more hate. So he is playing the Branded Beast, so it's good to see that. But yeah, so you can see he sided into his Lightning Storm. Most likely probably already plays Super Poly, if not siding into it, and then it's painful to see the Brain Retribution. He does have the Habitus though, so he can see the play. And this is, wow, that's a great hand. Going second. It's not what you want to see spell wise. So obviously he's gonna, he's gonna probably go into his Hayate, but Habitus is gonna play. Yep, so he goes into his Hayate. He didn't get any of his gems, so that's the only downside about playing such a big mixture, because he's likely not playing the Shizu engine cards. He's not going to be able to make it into additional plays. So he sends Area Zero. Maybe he's just thinning the deck, because at this point he doesn't care too much about Area Zero. Yep, gonna probably get back the engage, set the multi-roll. Multi-roll play going in there is always your best bet. Grabbing the anchor. It's interesting he didn't play multi-roll. It's interesting he didn't play multi-roll prior to engage. I guess he has nothing else he really cares to play. Yeah, he's probably going to fire off Cannon, burn out Blazing Cartesia, and then reset it with multi-roll. Yep, that's the play I would definitely do. Resets it and passes to his opponent. Oh, he opens up, he gets his Perlino. Activates Perlino, likely going to go into a Rhino Heart, but it gets ashed, and then he sets the one branded beast. So is he going to chain anything in the end phase? Nope, nothing in the end phase. Likely going into Kagari into engage. Yep. And at this point, if you haven't stopped Sky Striker and they got multi-roll and engage up, you have no way. That's a steamroller advantage that is fairly hard to out. So here you can see he's going to engage, so you get the multi-roll. He's probably going to set the linkage. Grabs the afterburners. So he's going to send by card effect. Send the new one. So he's sending the branded beast off of the afterburner secondary effect specifically because he doesn't want that. This should have Shark Cannon should have been banished. Yeah, I don't think either. Yeah, so I don't think he caught that. That should have been banished because it had been set by multi-roll. SlimJae doesn't catch it though. Yeah, okay, now there you go. SlimJae saying, hey, that's banished. My bad. It's also interesting that so it's interesting here that instead of, because he activated 2 that turn, so it's interesting that he didn't set the afterburners and then hit the widow anchors, because you know you're not going to get lightning stormed in this situation. So I think for IG it probably would have been a better play, knowing that you have 2 anchors. You could potentially burn 1 anchor for an effect and then burn another one to take, but he doesn't do it, so carry on. So his opponent still does not see any of his branded engine. So Mr. Sarnier targets his own Fallen of Albaz, which I'm not 100% sure why he doesn't go for the Ray. Yeah, that is interesting that he chose not to hit the Ray. That's usually a common play. I think I went to an entire YCS not too long ago where I was playing Sky Strikers just for fun, and I don't think I resolved the Ray once in 8 rounds. I went 6-2, 6-2 drop, and I didn't see Ray's activation once. All right. So in this instance, he's got this. He's got the engage. He goes for the engage. He has the linkage already set. If his opponent has nothing, I don't understand why he's. Okay, so he's gonna take it. So he has 2 darks. His opponent activates Super Poly, obviously going into Mud Dragon to Swamp because he has 2 darks on field. No Ray able. He's gonna send his branded opening off of Sarnier. That I do not understand why he sent his linkage. If he already knew that line of play, that was the incorrect thing to do. He already knew what he had going for him. He could have just attacked. He knew that his opponent was gonna Sarnier. He knew he had the anchor ready to go, and he still could have pushed for damage. Yeah, he could have gone on Shizuku 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. It would have been okay. No, yes, he couldn't pushed. He couldn't have pushed over the swamp. But all right, so his opponent activates the effect of Lubellion, and then at the DD Crow activates Magnemut. Sorry, banish DD Crow. He's going to chain off Shark Cannon. Takes the 4,900 damage from Swamp. Magnemut. His opponent can't do anything else. Activates multi-roll in phase and gets his engage. Yeah, you hate to see the engage get banished out like that, but at this point, he has already burned through 2 of his Kagaris. It's not that engage is really going to be getting that much additional activity. So he fires off the Widow Anchor and the Hornet drones, so he can probably go into, at this point, another Zeke. Oh, no, goes into the Hayate. A third Hayate. That's That's an interesting build. So I know a lot of players drop the third Hayate to play additional cards. So they can fit things like Dark and a couple other, like, so the Goddess in Another World, because the deck does have a hard time specifically outing non-targeting stuff. So he goes in phase, gets the multi-roll. Interesting again, he doesn't go into Shizuku for in phase. His opponent drew his worms, hits the Zeke. Yep. Okay, his opponent sees the writing on the wall. He's like, there's not much I can do about this. My opponent can swing over and attack the game. So, also, it's interesting to note here that SlimJae, a lot of times in tournaments and stuff, the opponent will make the Sky Striker player go first because Sky Strikers don't have a great going first game, especially when Sky Striker thinks that they're going second. They side in things such as like evenly matched. So had he made his opponent go first, this would have been an absolute blowout of a game. So he's going to go probably like into Kick Kalos, which is going to be met with Impermanence, I'm guessing. Yep. Impermanence. Almost the Merly. Gets his mill 3. Hits the Aluber, but basically that's a whiff. Activates Juice Worm effect. Of course, at this point, he's desperately digging for anything else. He uses the Branded Regain to put the Aluber back, gets his Ghost Bell. Here he can go into Sprine. Yep. So he can go into Sprine. Sprine's effect will activate. Gets Veilered. Opponent says, going to in phase. Kick Kalos is destroyed at in phase, so he's going to get his mill 5. If he hits any other Tearlament that's not... Yeah, that's not Rhino Heart. So he hits Rhino Heart and he hits Havness. And since a fusion summon monster wasn't to graveyard that turn, Brandon High Spirits can also activate. That's a really good setup. So Havness. Yep, Brandon High Spirit activates. So he gets his Dragostapelia. So at this point, unless IG Nerd Dryles into an engine start, and he does. What a top deck. So he gets the Hornet's Drone. Had he not had an engine start, it would have been game over. He keeps the Dragostapelia on board. So here he's going to try to out the negate of Dragostapelia by going into Kagari. He says, nope, that's absolutely fine. I know what you really want. You really want your Shizuku Search on in phase. I'm just going to let you have that. So opponent now says, okay, I now have to force this out. So he's going to probably go into Zeke here, banish out the Dragostapelia, because he desperately needs that Shizuku effect to activate. So Shizuku in phase, likely going into engage. Yep. Me personally, I think that going into engage off of that is always going to be the better play. I know some people, they try to push for damage and go engage on the first Hayate Sen. I always think that's not the best play. If you were going to do anything and you could set it up, and you still had spells to play, then send multi-roll, add multi-roll back, and then start going off. Because then you're setting yourself up for success. You have multiple ways to break engage, and then you still, or break a board, and then you still go for engage and in phase for Shizuku. So opponent attacks over it, sets Branded Retribution. So here we only have one spell in grave. He's gonna have to fire off the engage and then get the ray. Yeah, he's got to get his way into engine. But Dragostapelia. So does he go for Kagari here? No, he goes for Hayate. He's got to get spells in the graveyard. Probably gonna send the field spell. Or, oh, nope, so he says, nope, you can't attack directly. He still takes the damage, I guess, forgetting that its effect, yeah, he says only activates activated effects, not continuous effects. So yeah, he gets his Kagari. Kagari targets Engage. Engage gets met with Ghost Bell. Shizuku. On in phase, probably going to grab like an Anchor because he doesn't have one in Grave because he knows he's going to have to play around a lot next game. Yep, that was my play. I'd grab Anchor. Anchor's always the go-to number 2. Okay, so he activates Brandon Opening. He's got nothing for this, so he's going to get his High Spirits out of hand, but that's likely going to come back at the end of the turn. Grabs his Aluber. This is going to be met with an Aluber. Summon activates effect for Brandon Fusion. Gets met with an Effect Veiler. He flips up Despia Tragedy. He's like Yugioh. At this point, he's just pushing for damage. He's only got 2 spells in Graveyard. So he sends his Despia Tragedy to Graveyard. So he activates his Shark Cannon to banish. Yeah. Okay, so he does that to get one more spell in the graveyard. So at that point, it's a crash. And then he can get his Ray out. Ray here is going to get attacked. He's going to chain the effect. At this point, he's probably going to go into the earth. Oh no, he doesn't. He doesn't activate anything. I wonder if he actually plays the earth. I'm forgetting its name right now. Yep. All right. So easy. He's going to go for 2 here. So he gets Dark. What does he summon here with Dark? Okay, yep, so he scoops it up. Yeah, so going in the Dark play, he only had Brand Retribution. I'm sorry, I was being silly. So all he has to do is grab maybe like Druid Swarm, and that's enough for the OTK. So overall, I think it was a great play. I think a couple of misplays by IG Nerd in there and what he was grabbing off of it in game 2 that could have been better for him. But overall, I mean, he still pulled it home. I'm not quite sold yet on the putting the Tearlaments into the Brandon build. I think, as you saw here, it kind of just slows the whole thing down. And yeah, sure, you maybe get into some fusions off of your luck, but you can whiff quite often. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below about the branded Tearlament build, kind of mashing the two together, especially also still trying to keep all the Bestial in there. I think a lot of these decks are playing, this one's actually not playing that many. It's not that large of a deck. But do you think it slows down the engine? Do you think it's in? And also, do you think Sky Striker's still a good deck? I think it has some potential. It definitely is hurt by a Bestial. As you see here, this is not a non-Bestial build, and it brought it home. Overall, a good duel for both of them. Thank you all for watching. Really appreciate you guys spending your evening watching this with me, and I'll catch you next time.
Thank you for watching. Try some of these other great duels. If you like what you saw, give us a like and subscribe.